the little time that we have left here. We only have about 15 minutes, and we've been talking about fashion. It's Fashion Week. And I was talking with my girlfriend today, who is a big designer. In fact, she's designed a couple of dresses that you've seen me sport down the red carpet. And she dresses a lot of the stars here. Well, anyway, people who are in that kind of business are flocking to New York during this time because it's the fashion week, and we're talking to the folks at Saks Fifth Avenue, and we're doing all this. But Dalia MacPhee is not only her beautiful gowns hanging in Neiman Marcus and Nordstrom's, but she is somebody who is also concerned about being a good sister woman and helping us save some money when we pull together our fierce fashion for the fall. Hello, Dalia. How are you today?
Hi, Rolonda. Long time no speak.
Oh, girl, I saw you earlier today when we were planning to get this talk. I said, Dalia. Yeah, but listen, girl, I'm real with my audience. Girl, I was talking to you this afternoon because you had just gotten off that plane from the fashion week, and I said, girl, look, all of us are looking at these fabulous InStyle magazines and the old magazine, and we're looking at all this stuff on E and all the rest. But how do we do this for real? When we're trying to get dressed and we don't have a bunch of money to be spending on a bunch of big designer clothes. I mean, we're lucky we might get a little piece here or there. But let's say we don't have it. How can we pull together something and still look like we got it going on in the financial department? In other words, how can we dress for less?
Well, it's a lot easier than you think it is. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight the 10 must-haves for fall. And then
I love it. Hey, girls, get our pens and paper because, listen, Dalia, you have helped me You've helped me over so many years. That's why I share my friendship with our friends.
You're easy, though, because there's two things about you that are great. One is you know your body, and that's huge. To understand it,
my body's huge?
Hey,
I know. But no, you're right. No, but I know I have long legs, a short waist. I know the things that work for me, and we all know our body. You're absolutely right. So let's go with that.
A lot of women don't. It's important for women anyway to really be in touch with their bodies, just health-wise. But fashion-wise, it's so important because you know what looks good on you by nature. But the second thing that's great about you that I've noticed just from the times we've hung out is you're not afraid to take chances with fashion. And I think that that's great. Because, new trends come out, and sometimes you got to take a chance and go for it.
Well, I'm somebody, I don't get freaked out over embarrassing myself. Lord knows I've done it a gazillion times. But
I know you have.
When you're in the public eye, I'll be the first one to try a new hairstyle. I was one of the first people to try on clip-on hair. I can remember when people in the New York Post wrote about me and they said, what is going on with Rolonda? I was anchoring the news at the time. They said, she's got African-American hair to her ears, and then it's like Asian hair from below her ears. There's some woman in Chinatown going, what happened to my hair? So, no, but when you want to be trendy, and all of us do. I mean, you don't have to have a gazillion dollars to really make a real fashion statement in your office,
you really don't.
School place. You always know the girl who is pulled. And she doesn't always have to have a lot of money, but she always makes a statement. And sometimes it is taking that chance. And some of our greatest people have taken those chances when people went, what? But they stand as the icons.
Right, and something you can do is you take a chance and go out where it doesn't matter. So don't necessarily take your chance and head to the red carpet or to that important party or that date. Take the chance and maybe head out on your own or with your girlfriends that you know you trust.
Who will tell you the truth,
see what
honey.
the reaction is. Sorry?
Right. Or have your girlfriends do what you guys do to me. You come and dress me before we go out in public.
Right, that's true.
You just no, it's true. You've done it from New York to L.A. I'm starting to get a little complex here, but not really because I know I'm in good hands. But I always have my friends come and stop before we go out. We always stop at my house, and they were like, let's just check Ro out and make sure she's pulled.
You can't buy better friends than that.
I know. I have great friends, and you're one of them, and I love you so much. And that's why I want you to share. Just go on with some of those tips.
Okay, so I just got back from New York, and I'm going to kind of highlight really the top 10 that I think everyone should have in their wardrobe because obviously there's many more than 10 trends for fall. But the number one is the motorcycle jacket. So I'm sure if you're picking up a lot of the magazines right now or if you looked at fall previews, you saw them. and that's your faux leather or your real leather or your fabric bomber-style jacket. You may already have one in your wardrobe from the 80s. So, you know, fashion always evolves.
That was a nervous chuckle, by the way.
Uh-oh.
Because I do collect things from the 80s. I'm sorry. I'm a clutter girl. Okay, go on. I'm so sorry.
Hey, if it's a staple, those are the times where, you know, you go back to your wardrobe because everything regurgitates itself. I mean, that's what fashion is about. So, but that's really hot. And one thing that I would recommend is there's a lot of bomber jackets and motorcycle jackets out there. If you're spending a pretty penny, don't get anything that's got the chains and the studs on it because it won't carry you through many of your outfits. Get something that fits you really well and that will go with most of your ensembles. So that's
those
the first
studs
one.
are so hot right now. I see them on purses. I see them on bracelets. I see them on jeans. I mean, hats, studs are hot.
They're everywhere. But the only thing about the studs is people are going to get tired of them soon. So if you're buying something with studs, just make sure that you're comfortable looking at it a year from now.
Yeah.
The great thing is,
I'm going to tell you, and I'm just going to put this out here.
Yeah.
I remember a few years ago, I had some of the best True Religion studded jeans. We did a big closet clean out, and my friends insisted I get rid of the studded jeans. I'm so mad that I got rid of those studded jeans. I cannot tell you. But even if they came in now, they'd be out soon. So there's things that take arcs. They're like, even if they come back, they still may not last forever. But I don't know. If you have space, save the stuff you love. Don't let those closet cleaners take everything.
Where were the studs on the jeans, out of curiosity?
They were down. They were like wide-legged jeans, which might have been an issue. But they were at the bottom of the pants, like on the I don't know what you guys call it, but you know when the bell opens up on the left.
But you know that's something to consider, that you could have maybe folded that up, turned it into a cuff.
Yeah.
I mean, we'll get into that later.
But what is that you have always taught me? You have always taught me that when all else fails, get a good tailor.
Mhm. Yeah, and I was going to bring that up, but since you did already, we might as well talk about that. That's something that I always recommend to people is try to find a really good, reasonable tailor near you if you can, and become friends with them. You know, little gifts here or there always help, because a great tailor can make or break your entire outfit. You know, most of us are not perfect sizes, especially in jackets and coats. And just like, you know, George Clooney and the men walking the runway, you know, you can't pay for a better, well-tailored shirt or jacket on a woman. And then there's little extra things that they can do. Like right now, the elbow patches are huge. I'm sure you've kind of seen that also in the book.
Oh, I love that
elbow
look.
Patches. Yeah, on the cardigans and whatnot. Well, you know what? We've all got cardigans and sweaters in our closet that have been sitting there. Instead of doing it yourself, that's something where you go on eBay and you pick up some colored patches or crystal patches, because that's huge right now, and ask your tailor to sew it on.
That's so interesting. Let's take a caller. I got a caller here. Area code. Yeah, let's take some callers. Listen, if you have some fashion questions, call us at 602-753-1779. 602-753-1779. Here's a caller from area code 201. You know, I already love you because you're a Jerseyite. Hello. Welcome to Sundays with Rolonda.
Hello, Rolonda.
Hello.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Loud and clear.
Listen, I didn't call for a fashion. Could somebody take my number and call me? I have a father who saved his child from a pedophile, and now a judge wants to put him in jail, and I can't get this story out. I'd like to be interviewed.
Well, I tell you what, you can write me at Sundays with Rolonda, because that sounds like something very serious. And you know, I worked with a lot of pedophiles and with the justice system in New Jersey. So you write me at sundayswithrolonda.com, ROLONDA.
Can I just send you a message on Facebook where I got your phone number?
No, because I won't get Facebook. This is way too important for Facebook. So if you want to write me,
wait a minute.
write
me
directly, okay?
Wait, hold on. What's the address?
Row, there's R-O, at sundayswithrolonda.com. ROLONDA with Rolonda.com.
I'm sorry. Ro at Sundays.
I'm going to say it again, and I hope you're not texting and driving. But if anybody is listening,
I'm home, but I'm very nervous because this person's life is going to be ruined because the judge wants to put him in jail for saving his daughter.
You know what? This is what this kind of platform is for. We don't always talk about fashion every day, and I want you to cut through this.
So this is an email address? This is an email address?
Email address. Ro at sundayswithrolonda.com. R-O at...
Wait a minute.
Ro.
Is it Rolonda or just Ro?
No, just Ro. Ro at sundayswithrolonda.com. Okay? Sundays with Rolonda. Rolonda.com.
Rolonda.com.
And what's your name?
My name is Howard Green.
Okay, Howard. Thank you so much for calling me.
I've called all the stations, and nobody wants to hear this story. It's a disgusting story.
You know something? Let me tell you something, Howard. I'm going to be really honest with you. I was the first person in America who did a story on pedophilia back in 1982, I think it was. And when I did this story, because I was on the board of advisors for the Rahway State Prison Lifers Group, and I got a call from another division of the prisoners group, and they said, we're a group of pedophiles, and you need to tell our story. And I'm like, why do I need to tell your story? And they were like, because if you don't tell our story, there are 50 million other children who are going to be raped because nobody's covering the story. So I went over there and I talked with these guys, and I covered the story. And do you know that I was working with the New Jersey Network at the time. This was back in 1981, 82. And I tried to tell the story, and then the news organization didn't even want to tell the story because it said people don't want to hear about that at dinner time.
Nobody wants to hear it.
Well, listen, guess what? There's some stories that are worth hearing and they're worth talking about. So I want you to write me, and if it's a story that makes sense to talk about, and we pull all the information together, I have no problem talking about that because, I come from a news background, and if there's something wrong,
I know who you are. I followed you for years. So it's Ro at sundayswithrolonda.com.
And listen,
I'm going to do it now. This is so
urgent.
Do it now. Just
send it to me. All right.
Okay.
And I thank you so much. Listen, I sorry about that, Dalia. That's the beauty of our platform here that we can cover anything.
Multi-talented.
Yeah, well, you know what? Listen, it's kind of cool that you can talk about fashion and then switch off and talk about pedophilia, but that's the way the world is, and I'm happy that I'm here to catch all of those things. But the bottom line is, listen, it is fall. It is time to try something new. We're encouraging each other, as you're always encouraging me, Dalia, because you're the fashionista. You're the big designer. You're the one who just got back from New York City with her own designs out there. There are some people who are listening right now, Dalia, who may be saying, all of my life, every time, Fashion Week comes along, I know my line could be out there. I know I could do it. Give us one tip for somebody who's dreaming of being a designer, for taking their things here to Fashion Week and getting them up there, hanging in the up there with Paige and Ginn up there in Saks. What do you tell them to stick through so they can have a line like you have, Dalia MacPhee?
The only thing that I could say in a sentence would be that the difference between the possible and the impossible is determination. You have to be determined, and there's a lot of things that you can use today that people don't. We've gotten so used to emails and textings and computers that we hide behind that. There's a lot to be said from a phone call, from a visit. I would get as savvy as you can, get as smart as you can about your line. You've got to have some guts, and you go for it. You keep knocking on doors until you get there. But one thing that's really important is a lot of designers are not necessarily taught the nitty-gritty business end of fashion. At the end of the day, it's really important that it fits well, that it looks good, and that it sells. So,
that's right. The bottom line, what you said, let's be real. The bottom line is it sells.
Yeah, exactly.
And to do that, you better work. Dalia MacPhee, I cannot thank you enough. Welcome back home. And we are about to go and get out of Dodge here because my time is almost up. But I cannot thank you enough that one of the first things you did after you got off that plane from Fashion Week in New York City was you picked up the phone and you called Sundays with Rolonda. We can follow you where?
Okay, and we never covered the other fall must-haves, but I'll list it on our Facebook for anyone that's interested in jumping on. But the best place to find us is our website, which is DaliaMacPhee.com, DaliaMacPhee.com. All our social media and links, everything's on there.
Okay. Well, why don't you, while we have this time, go on. I'll wait. Tell me what is. We have a few minutes.
Okay.
I'll extend my time here. That's it. That's the kind of power we have here.
I'll do it real fast.
No, take your time.
Is the motorcycle jacket. Number 2 is the sexy cutout backs. That's huge. Jackets, dresses, tops. You're going to see a lot of cutout backs. And the biggest fashion sale that I noticed is a lot of the retailers aren't carrying what you need to wear those things, which is the strapless, backless bra. Because you can't, most women need some support in the front, but they're not going to wear an open cutout back with, that's showing bra straps.
So they had to come up with a bra to go with this new style.
Right, and the problem is a lot of the retailers don't carry it. So it creates a problem because women think, well, how am I going to wear this realistically when I go out? And
how do you do that?
I found
because I got to tell you, I was just up at the Missoni introduction of their new fall line, or their new resort line, and they have this beautiful sweater, and so many of the sweaters I'm seeing, the back is totally out, which I totally love. But how do you monetize the jiggle and the twiggle up in the front?
You have to have support. So I'm going to tell you a secret of a company I found. It's called Strapless Angel Bra. So there's a lot of companies. You can go to Victoria's Secret, and they've got the backless bras. But this company it's a regular bra in front. It's completely supported, and then the sides are clear straps, so you cannot see any straps at all. But you have 100% support. It's $20 or $25, and it lasts you about 50 wears. That's
great
one
to
of
know.
the best.
And where do we go to get that? What is that website again?
It's called Strapless Angel Bras. It's a patented bra, and I would probably Google it. I mean, I had found it in a store.
Strapless Angel Bras. That's fabulous.
I'm sure there's stores across the country that carry it. But that's one, like I said, you can always go to your local lingerie store. Most of them will carry some sort of version, but they're much more expensive. And if this is just something that's a fad for you, you're picking up, the one open back shirt.
Right, you could have something to support you. What are some other great tips?
Okay, and by the way, there's another company, too, called Braza that I found that's very interesting. The third trend for fall is dramatic outerwear. So stylish trench coats, and then think very high fashion, over-the-top, bold coats. Big color, again, kind of 80s, very cold, New York, the faux fur, leopard print. Any of those that you can then, throw over something a little more simple. Rihanna was seen recently stepping out with the most adorable little black dress, and then she threw on a dramatic white coat, and I just made the look.
I love it.
They're not always in, but they're in for this fall. The fourth is the long sweater and long cardigan, and the cardigans you'll see a lot of patches right now on the elbows. The trick with that is get a sweater. If you're going to pick it up, make sure that it has a neckline that's flattering.
Right.
The V-cut is usually flattering on most women. And then that's one of those things that I was saying. You may have an old cardigan or an old sweater in your closet that you've just been waiting to throw back out. You can throw patches on yourself or have your local tailor go on eBay or go on Pinterest to get ideas and look for patches that you can pick up for $2.50, $3.50, and turn it into a designer cardigan.
And you're saying that the crystal patches, not just the leather patches, are the really hot thing this year, which I think is kind of cool. And I am a big cardigan and, legging and boot kind of girl. So that just kind of works for me. Yeah, I love that. I love that. Listen, Dalia, we're about to wrap up. Anything else you can tell us?
Fit and flare dresses, Pleather skirts, mini skirts, pencil skirts, and the knee-length pleated. The power suit. Everyone's got to have a white shirt. And then for accessories, look for chunky jewelry, stacking rings, ear cuffs, and shoes would be flat Oxfords, really in, funky boots, and thigh-high boots.
All right, so I can get away from all those platform heels.
Yeah. No more platform heels. Those are out. And for a shorter gal like me who wears the heels all the time, believe me, I was running the stores to clean them out.
Well, honey, thank you so much. And press Dalia MacPhee. You are, and it's MacPhee, MacPhee. And Dalia, you can see her wonderful designs, brilliant colors, great for the curve girls on the red carpet. Dalia, thank you so much for joining me today.
Thanks for having me.
A little time.